Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to show to you the orchids that I have in bloom in the month of May. So I will start with this one. This is the gorgeous Phalaenopsis Harlequin. She did a really pretty spike for me here, and she's growing another one here. She's growing in a water culture in a little glass vase, which right now needs to be refilled with water. She has a lot of fruit tips, as you can see, and the blooms look really nice. I really love how the magenta spots are displayed on the white background, especially with the sun behind. I really think it looks very nice. Next we have another orchid in waterculture. This is no ID hybrid at the moment, and it is a little bit fragrant. It has a citrusy fragrance. It's not very healthy because it didn't came with a lot of fruits, but now she's starting to adjust, as you can see. Next, here we have the Miltoniopsis brilliantina with 3 pretty blooms, which do look amazing in my opinion. She is super fragrant. She smells like roses, and she's doing amazing in the pot she's in. She is with the Dr. Soil bark for orchids, and she's really loving it. Here we have the Paphiopedilum Pinochio, which has been in bloom for ages. As you can see, it has pushed up bud after bud, and it does not seem that it wants to stop. I really love the display of this one. It has her little hairs here, really pretty one. But I only have one blooming fan at the moment. This one is not yet mature, but it will be at the end of this year, I believe. Here we have the Miltoniopsis Princess Diana, an amazing orchid which has 10 blooms at the moment. She is amazingly fragrant, and the display is really beautiful. It is growing in a semi-hydro, in a self-watering pot, and she does seem to be quite happy. I have this orchid for about 3 years. When I have received it, it had no roots, and yeah, now is doing a lot better. When I have received it, it had only these 2 suitables and this growing new growth, but then it pushed up. I don't have it for 3 years, only 2 years. Anyway, it pushed up this suitable, which matured in about 13 months. That is a lot of time, but when she finally matured, look what a display she put up for me. Really nice. And this gorgeous orchid I absolutely adore. I hope I never lose this one. Let me show to you. This is the Miltoniopsis Heralexandra crossed with Miltoniopsis Mari Sugiyama. This came from a batch of orchids from Equagenera, which you know, I don't particularly like because most of their orchids were infested with Fusarium. And they sent me 3 of these orchids in the same crowded let's say pot, but they were bare rooted, and it came out with Fusarium, but somehow this one managed to survive. So I have 4 total blooms, 3 in here and 1 in here in the back. She is very beautiful, and this is the most fragrant Miltoniopsis that I have ever encountered. I know this is a seedling, so it is grown from seed. Now it is mature, and it is doing absolutely amazing for me. It let me try to describe the scent. So it smells like roses, like hyacinths, and I don't know, but at the very moment this orchid fills my entire room with her fragrance, and I adore it. Here I have the little Phalaenopsis J-Hose Pink Girl that I have from Dani for about 2 years, and it is growing nicely. It is the first time she blooms for me, and yeah, I think it looks nice. It has a slight fragrance, a citrusy one, and now I think she has snails or something. Oh no, I forgot. I have put some rooting paste on this orchid, and it seems that it didn't work. And that is why it is shiny there and sticky, but she's healthy and pretty. And here I have my pride and joy. This is my Iwanagara apple blossom pink. She has some amazing blooms. We'll try to catch them with good light. She's not yet in full bloom, but she has a total of 5 spikes. I didn't even count yet the buds. I know I did broke one bud, which I am very sorry about, but that is that. She is amazingly fragrant. She smells like flowers of apples and some freesias, very strong as freesias, and this one fills my entire house, not my entire room. So I adore her. I even changed her to a bigger pot, as you can see. She is in a, let me see if I can read it. It's damaged, the sticker, so that is that. But it is in a huge pot. This is my hand, and this is the pot. I barely can lift her, so I think she will be good to stay here for about 1 or 2 more years, and then she will be divided because it's just getting too big. I had a total of 7 new suitabulbs last year, but she only rebloomed from 5 because the first ones matured at the end of the last spring, and then the sheet dried because this orchid doesn't rebloom in the end of the spring, early summer, but in the early spring. So she didn't want to bloom from this suitable, this suitable, and I think I had one more, and from this one. So I think I had 8 new suitables last year, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I had another spike somewhere, and I don't see it right now. Anyway, it is here. So yeah, I will try to count the blooms and buds and put them on the screen. I am really recommending that you try to buy this orchid if you ever found it. Believe me, this one is worth spending your money on, even though it may cost 50 euros, even though depends where you buy it and how many suitables it has. It can get quite expensive, but it is totally worth it. This is basically my favorite Cattleya, I think, after the Doviana. So really proud of this one. So next we have the Vanda Kalpana Sunrise. I have recently done an update on my Vandas in glass vases, so I won't insist all that much on this one, but please observe how beautiful she is. She is an amazing orchid. She is very fragrant. She has a spicy, sweetish, syrupy-like fragrance, and I absolutely adore her. It is the first time she reblooms for me. I only have her for a few months now, maybe 8 months, so she doesn't even have a full year. But she is very beautiful. She's not all that healthy. I don't know what she has. I will try to water it more often because the leaves are getting shriveled, but she is growing very good roots in the air and inside the glass vase. She also produced 2 cakeys there. Next, here we have the Vanda Roll-on Red, which never wants to show her true colors on the video when she's on the windowsill, but I will try to post a little video with her true colors after this one. Very beautiful one. She has a slight fragrance, but she didn't fully develop it yet because it is the first time that she bloomed for me, and yeah, she's not yet fully adjusted to my environment. Very nice one. She has a lot of buds. I broke one here from the tip, unfortunately, but she's very pretty. Next, in here we have the Phalaenopsis Cleopatra, looking great, having lots and lots of buds, as you can see. She's growing in full water culture here. I need to fill up the glass vase a little bit, but you can see how many roots she has, and I think I will move her to a bigger glass vase, a taller one, I mean, like that one there, because she will fill up with this one really soon. I just love the display on this one. And I think I paid only €5 about 6 months ago for her, and ever since she has been blooming continuously for me. And here we have the Phalaenopsis elegant Karin Aloha. This is a pretty nice one also. I have her for a few years now. Unfortunately, my mama dropped it on the floor, and it did suffer a bit. I think this leaf will completely drop, but it's doing okay, and it is growing in a semi-hydro in a self-watering pot. And here we still have in bloom the Phalaenopsis Rio Grande. I don't know why her blooms look like this. I mean, she seemed to have a weird disease ever since my boyfriend gave it to me, but only on the blooms, and I'm not sure what it is. I will try to see if next year it displays the same symptoms. I don't know. I will try to give her a preventive treatment. Maybe she has a pest that I don't see it. Next, we have here the Oncidium Euriclyne. This is a species orchid which smells like grass, in my opinion. She has a few good spikes here and there. This is the first time she reblooms for me, and it looks really nicely. There I have the huge Phalaenopsis Leodoro, which is pushing up a branch from here. She didn't rebloom all that great for me this year, and I will try to provide her higher light, because I think that is the reason for which she didn't rebloom properly. Alright guys, so here we have some of the orchids that I am more proud about. Here in the left, you must recognize this already. This is the Laelia Purpurata variety Vincolor, which I have bought a few years ago from Equagenera. Now, this is the first time this orchid produces two suitables in the same year for me, but unfortunately one of them produced just a blank sheet and the other one produced 3 blooms, again for the first time. Usually this orchid only produced for me 2 blooms, so at least we do have an improvement. And also right now she's growing a very strong new growth, so I am very happy about, and the suitable which bloomed is the largest one, so it has produced a huge leaf and 3 gorgeous and huge blooms. Now last year it did produce 2 blooms, and one of them was deformed, but we can see that she does not have a genetical problem, because these ones are perfectly normal. As you can see, the petals are very pointy. They are huge. By the way, the blooms have about 20 centimeters in diameter, as you can see, and the petals are completely white, while the sepals have some very delicate purplish stripes, as you can see, and the lip is absolutely gorgeous. It has this magenta color here with a little bit of white, some darker purple veinings, while inside the lip it has some light color yellow. And overall it does produce a huge and gorgeous display. This orchid is also super fragrant. It reminds me of freesias, but it's a very delicate scent, very beautiful. It is the type of scent that anybody would love. It's very floral and a little bit sweet, so as I said, this is one of my favorite orchids, and I hope in the future it will produce a display similar to this one. So here we have the Iwanagara Apple Blossom Pink. It has an amazing amount of number of blooms, and as you can see, not even all of them are completely opened yet, because this orchid produced 5 spikes and they did not open all at the same time. I do remember I broke 1 or 2 blooms. This happened while it was a little bud, and yeah, this happens, but that doesn't matter because I anyway have a huge amount of blooms, and they are very, very beautiful. As you can see, the blooms have a very, very nice shape. They are very pointy, they have a star-like shape, and the blooms don't have a singular color, so the petals and sepals begin with a whitish yellowish color, and towards the edges and the tips of the petals and sepals it has a very light pinkish tinge to it, and the lip is also very, very pretty. The blooms are not very large, as you can see, but they are very, very showy. So inside the throat of the orchid we have that yellowish patch of color, and on that we have some reddish stripes and dots, which do look quite amazing, and on the tip of the lip we have this light pink color. Now this orchid is amazingly fragrant. This has a very, very strong fragrance, and it reminds me of freesias and apple blossom blooms, and yeah, it's very, very beautiful. I still have a few buds to open, and these two spikes didn't even yet started, so I do expect to have this orchid for a lot of time in bloom. This is just the first bloom, which is starting to fade, but this orchid is in bloom for a lot of time now. And I saw somewhere on the base, I will try to find it for you, I have another new pseudobulb. Here it is. So I have another new pseudobulb which is starting to grow, so this orchid is amazing. This was a 4 pseudobulb orchid 2 years ago, and now is a complete bush. So here we have the amazing Cattleya Francess Fox Sunrise Spots. Now I have been waiting for this orchid to bloom for a lot of time, and I am very, very pleased that it finally did. The colors are just amazing. It has this orange, reddish, rusty kind of color, and it is a very, very showy bloom. The bloom is kind of large. It has about, I think, 15 centimeters in diameter, and the lip is the most beautiful thing about it. You can see that it is a very frilly one and is rather closed at the base and more open towards the tip. And you can see that it starts with a with an orange background with reddish spots, and towards the end of the throat it kind of transforms and not fades, but it goes into a more purplish one, and there inside we have some red stripes. Very, very beautiful one. I know this one is capable of producing many, many blooms, but this orchid is not bought for a lot of time, so it is not yet fully adjusted in my environment. So you can see that it bloomed from one small pseudobulb and is not even close to what it can produce, but is very, very fragrant. It has a spicy kind of scent, very, very beautiful, and I hear from other YouTubers that this thing is supposed to be fragrant during the nighttime. I don't know what to say. Mine is not particularly fragrant during the nighttime, but in the daytime, so it may depend on the particular gene that it inherited. I'm not sure, but mine is like this, and I kind of prefer it to be this way, because in the morning when I wake up and I go into the living room, my whole living room smells like a fragrance shop. So it's really beautiful, but I do have quite a lot of fragrant orchids here, so I don't need a room perfume. I think I am in love with this one. It's really, really gorgeous. So here in the right we have a little species. This is an Oncidium Euriclyne, I think it's called. I identified it myself, so if you have any other possible ideas, you can leave me a comment down below. This one produced, I think, 3 spikes, and it is the first time it blooms for me. This has some natural ridges on the pseudobulb, so this will not produce some plump pseudobulbs, but that is okay. I really love that the blooms are really, really small and dent-like. I'm not sure how well the camera picks up the intense yellow on the lip, but yeah, it kind of looks like a dress, for me at least. Very, very beautiful one. And it has a slight fragrance. It smells like fresh cut grass, so yeah. As you can see on the petals and on the sepals, we have some maroon color with a little bit of vivid yellow around, so it looks really, really nice. Okay, so the last two orchids that I wanted to show to you is this Vanda Cara blue or Blue Delight. I don't really remember exactly its ID, but it is a very, very beautiful one, as you can see. Now it has a little deformity here. Not sure if you can see, but these two blooms are connected through the same ovary, and they have two lips, but they share, I think, a petal. Yeah, the lower petal is the same on both of them, but very, very beautiful one. The blooms are not yet fully open, so they don't have their full color. These Vanda orchids do open their blooms a little bit more washed out, let's say, but and smaller, and then towards the next week or a week and a half they do enlarge in size and the color enriches. So yeah, it is a very beautiful one. It has two spikes, but I managed to broke two buds, so one from here and one from here. My orchids are a little bit too crowded, so I need to really look at them and see whatever I don't like to get rid of, because I don't really have much space and the orchids are growing and growing, and I think my Iwanagara will go to my office because it's too large for my apartment at this moment. So yeah. So the last orchid, it is this gorgeous Miltoniopsis Heralexander. This has an amazing pristine white color, background color on the lip and on the petals and sepals, and on the petals it has two purplish spots there towards the middle of the lip, and yeah, it looks really, really nice. This is the only one which I know it does not have that gorgeous waterfall, but I think it's beautiful, really, really beautiful. It is the first time it blooms for me, and it has 4 spikes. Not all of them are yet opened, and it's a little bit stressed, not very sure why, because it has produced 4 spikes, and every single one of them produce 1 or 2 blooms, and it's a bit weird, let's say, but it does have roots, and as you can see, it is not a large orchid, so maybe this is the reason why it did not produce more blooms. This orchid is very, very fragrant. It reminds me of roses and something sweet and very girly like, so I'm not sure how to describe it, but it is very beautiful. These blooms are just opening. Here I have another bud, and here in the right is starting to grow another spike, so yeah. So alright guys, this has been the video for today. I really hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!